Today is November 25th, 2023. I've been thinking quite a bit uh, about the number called drawdown. Now that drawdown is a number that is essentially uh, essentially is it is not a concrete number. It's a number that fluctuates. It is not a solid number. It's a number that is it is a gray area. It's a maybe number. I was watching this YouTube video, and apparently there's a Chinese farmer, and this farmer was asked the question, um, isn't it terrible that your son fell off the horse and broke his leg? And the farmer said, maybe. And a little bit later, uh, the military required all people to join the military, except for people with broken legs. And then the same person asked the farmer, isn't it great that your son does not have to be uh, sacrificed in the war? And the farmer said, maybe. So this is a gray area. So this is a gray area where now I'm venturing into, because the world that I used to live in was concrete, mortar, brick and mortar. And Warren Buffett loves bricks and mortar, and he loves that because it's consistent. He can extrapolate it out to a certain probability throughout a very, very long time. He can say that Coca-Cola is a brand that he purchased because the stability historically has given is in itself a stability and a constant return that is acceptable throughout time. So what is it about trading that I need to be careful of? One of the things that I need to be careful of is the drawdown. That is something that I need to really, really get intimate about, because that is going to define how I trade, because it makes or breaks my trade. Okay, that's essentially it. That that essentially is the threshold of that is essentially is the threshold of becoming profitable. So I can increase on the other side, the flip side, by just increasing increasing the risk that I have. Okay, and when I increase the risk, then I can put in the time to identify and elevate my statistical probability of making the gains, and also keeping an eye on the setups after I enter to determine whether it is a continuation or is it a reversion that may happen that will cause me to exit the trade. So these are the things that I need to be in constant awareness of when I make a trade. Now, the other part is when I enter a trade. So that's the other part. When I enter into a trade, okay? So when I enter a trade based on a setup and I get right into it. I get right into it and I'm expecting the trend to continue, the trend to move in a direction that my thesis is my thesis is pinpointing to. Okay. So when that happens, then there is an acceptable level of retracement to the opposite direction of my thesis. Okay, there's an acceptable, and that knowing what that threshold is going to cost me. It's going to cost me a certain amount. Okay, and that essentially that essentially tells me that throughout a period of 10 trades, and if my loss is a certain point, then my threshold of stop loss is going to either make it or break it for that 10 trading period. Essentially, that's how it comes. It's a known number. It's a number that is statistically finite and concrete, as it is brick and mortar. It is something that is truth. It is the truth. It is a concrete number, concrete, that has been poured on to create this foundation. It's a concrete number, okay? And so I have to get that into my mind. I have to be constantly be aware of that number. Okay? I have to be that number. I have to be that. I have to be that constant number that tells me that's how it works. And so when I look at that number, so trading is, as I become more familiar with the charts, the setups, the structures, and everything else, then my efficacies of becoming a consistently profitable becomes even better, and my reliance on that statistical drawdown becomes less and less because I'm gaining the advantage by the offense and the defense. Okay? So essentially, this is just like a football game. Okay? I can have a high power offense. But if I don't have a defense, then the other side will be equally high power. But if I have both strength, where I have an incredible defense as well as the offense, then it's very similar to football. Do I have a YouTube video on football? Trading is just like football. Yeah, trading is just like football. Trading is just like football. There's a lot of strategies to gain a little bit, or there's a Hail Mary, right? There's wow, it's very, very similar to football. It is day trading is American as football. It's American as American. It is in Texas. It's football and faith. Okay, football and God are the two primary things. Football and God in Texas. Now I see why. So trading is essentially do I have an excellent do I have a strong offense? Do I have a strong defense? Okay? So I'm essentially a football team. I am a football team. So I need to come up with a football team. Okay, Boise has grown, and maybe a few years down the road is going to have a professional football team and might have a professional basketball team. Okay? So that will be in the future. But right now, essentially in the world of day trading is just like football. Okay? If I have an incredibly strong, it's just like, okay, so far, here's what's been happening. My offense is really bad, and my defense is really bad, which means that me being able to gain a lot of money is not there. That means that I don't have a strong offense. My ability to protect the gains that I have is weak, so my defense is weak too. So those two things causes my account to be depleted year after year after year, day after day after day, because what's happening is that there's no practice, there's no evolution, there has to be a flood, there has to be a flooding of coordination, the tactics and the strategies that I need to employ It's a team. It's a team. It's a day trading is all about creating this uh, Super Bowl. I want to go to the Super Bowl. Okay? I want to go to the Super Bowl. Not too many people, not too many teams go to the Super Bowl. Only two teams go to the Super Bowl. Only two teams, not one, but two teams go to the Super Bowl. Okay? I want to go to the Super Bowl. And in order to go into the Super Bowl, I have to be able to be incredibly good at defense and incredibly good at offense. If I lack in any of those two departments, then my game is not there yet. Because any one of those weaknesses could cause whatever I gain to be, if my offense is weak, but if my defense is strong, what eventually will happen is that my losses will be small, but my offense will not be able to increase the profit that I have and the gains that I have. And therefore, I have to treat this day trading just like a football game. And when I get to the Super Bowl, is that two words or one word? Yeah, it is two words. Okay? When I get to the Super Bowl, that means that I have succeeded at a level that allows me to be to protect my gains with an incredible defense, and then be able to accumulate with an incredible offense. Okay? And that requires defensive and offensive coordinators. Okay? So that means that when I enter a trade, I have to think about what the defense is going to do so that when I strategize my offense, okay? So any football player could be an excellent day trader. So when I'm entering a trade, I have to think about what the other team is going to do. What is that? 12 men on the field, right? 12 men? 11 men? 12 men? So there's 11. If there's 12 people in there, yeah, 11 players. If there's 12 people in there, there's extra man on the field, okay? That's a penalty. So that essentially, wow, it's wow, that's it. That's it, huh? Day trading, trading is about building a team. Trading is about building a team to get to the Super Bowl. I can build any team, okay? I could just pick anybody, but it has to be buttoned up. It has to be effective. It has to be impressive. It has to move forward. It has to have offensive and defensive coordination with numerous strategies that are unknown to the 95%. I have to create that strategy. I have to be the coach. I have to be a coach, the player, and everything else. The administrator, and I have to be the offense and the defensive coordinator. All in one. I have to be the head coach. I have to be defensive coach. I have to be offensive coach. I have to be assistant coach. I have to be the quarterback, I have to be the tight ends. I have to be the center. I have to be the tackle. I have to be the running back. I have to be a halfback. I have to be the wide receiver. I have to be. I have to be the American football team that is headed to the Super Bowl in order for me to join that 2% of Wall Street who consistently command a salary each day, each week, each month, each year for the rest of my life.